Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of the Top Flight Podcast. You know what it is, you know what we're here to do. Back on screen today, we're in beautiful Austin, Texas. I'm with the boys. We got Eric, Futbol Critic, and JC in here tonight for an episode of the Top Flight Podcast. I'm your host, Hernan, or more commonly known as H in the Austin FC community. We got a good show for y'all. Midweek episode of the Top Flight Podcast. Got some news to touch up on. Thank God that Austin FC is our club. They always have stuff to talk about, I guess you could say. I do want to mention some stuff real quick. We got to plug in the sponsor. Shout out to Guadalupe Realtor. If you have any questions on either buying or selling a home in the Austin area, make sure to hit her up. She can help you out. Also, check out WeAustinTV.com for your articles on Austin FC. We got some good stuff there by the writers. We got JC, Scott, and Futbol Critic, who always bust out some really good work. And also check out the pod. Subscribe on YouTube. Also, you can subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcast. I want to introduce Eric. How you doing, mate? The stat and topic contributor to the Top Flight Podcast. What's up, brother?
I'm doing great. How you guys doing? But I'm even more happier that I predicted the 3-0 trashing of LAFC to Austin FC. But it's good too. We got a lot to talk about. I can't wait to get to the European section as well, guys.
Well, I'm happy that you are proud of that, I guess, brother. Football critic, mate, come on in here, bro. How you doing, bro?
I'm good, bro. Thank you. Thank you for having me again. Really happy to talk to you guys again. JC too. It's been a pleasure working with him with the articles and now talking to him on the pod. It's gonna be great.
Back by popular demand, my G Football Critic. People were like, "Hey, you definitely got to have him back on." A lot of people were commenting, also saying, "Hey, this guy knows what he's talking about." So obviously, back by popular man, back by popular demand. Sorry, my G Football Critic. We got a new person making his debut here on the Top Flight Podcast, a writer for Warehouse TV. But I'm gonna let him introduce himself a bit. JC, mate, floor is yours, real quick, bro. Introduce yourself to the people that haven't heard of you yet on the Twitter Spaces. So go ahead, man. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thank y'all for having me. Yeah, just call me JC. Uh, man, love soccer, man. So glad Austin got a team. Looking forward to supporting it day one. Then, you get online and you see the online communities and the socials and stuff. And I just remember when I first saw UH and Bali and B and everybody, on Twitter, I like the way y'all came at it. I like the way you got information across. It just seemed like y'all were some cool folks. Most of the community has actually been pretty cool. Y'all the ones I most identified with at the time. So I latched on to y'all pretty quick. So it's been fun. I love that y'all do interviews after the games and staying. That's just an awesome kind of thing to do. I'm loving the interactions, the Twitter spaces, the Top Flight podcast, all of this stuff, man. It's just cool. Lots of teams wish they had kind of dedication and folks following their team the way we do. So I'm just going to enjoy the moment, enjoy this time. Again, thank y'all for having me.
Yes, sir. I like that. I like that 100%. And also thank you for that, mate. And it has been a pleasure working with all of y'all, building WeAustinTV.com, getting those articles out. And yeah, you're right, man. A lot of teams wish that they had fans dedicated to them just like us. We have been told that maybe we've been a little bit too critical sometimes. Everybody knows Bali. They know B, how they've gone at it. But I guess maybe you can say that they're like that because they care. I don't know. I guess maybe. But I do want to roll into the episode, y'all. We got a lot to talk about here, Austin FC midweek episode. And I want to start off with the state of the team, the recent team news segment. Want to talk about Julio Cascante's new contract, contract until 2025 with option for 2026. I got something to read here from the website of AustinFCI.com. It says Cascante, 29, joined Austin FC ahead of the club's inaugural season in 2021. He has since made 67 MLS appearances for Austin across the MLS regular season and playoffs, contributing 5 goals and 6 assists. His 7 goal contributions in the 2022 season were tied for the most among all MLS center backs. It is important to note that in 2022, his guaranteed compensation money on the MLSPA website was $337K. So I wondered if there's a raise with this new contract extension. Hopefully there is, better for him and his family. We got a quote here from Wolf. It says, Julio has been a consistent and solid presence on our back line since our first match back in 2021 and is a player with quality both in and out of possession. We're thrilled that he's decided to sign a new contract with Austin FC and look forward to more great years together. That's Wolf on Cascante. Let's see. I want to get Futbol Critic's take on this, mate. What are your thoughts on Julio Cascante's new contract, mate, and what Wolf had to say? Go ahead, Futbol Critic.
Man, I mean, I'm actually happy. I think Julio is a really good piece to have on our team. He's a good defender. His attacking contributions have been really great for us, or they were really good for us last season, and I'm good with that. I'm really good with that signing. It only like tickles my mind the fact that let's forget we're talking about Julio. Let's forget we're talking about Austin FC. Why is a club signing a player while he's injured, right? Like you don't know how he's gonna come out of that injury. I understand what he means for us, what he's done for us, for this club, for Joshua Wolf, but it's just like, hey, it feels like it wasn't the right time to make a type of renewal like that. And especially because this is another thing that I tweeted out, and because I realized we've got with Julio now, we've got 8 starters today that whose contract expired in 2025, 2026. So I'm just like, why is a club, I understand, with Julio, maybe the age or whatever, but why are we so fixed on having contracts ending in that period of time? I mean, that 2025 and 2026 are going to be a really big year for change for this club for the moment.
Yes, Football Critic. Really good point on that, mate. And I have that written down here. I have the contracts ending in 2025 and 2026. We have Stuver 2025, Vicenen 2025, Gallagher 26, Owen Wolf 25, Drusi Dior 25, Fagundes 25, and Zardis 2025. And that was based off of the notes that we were sending each other on that We're Us in TV writer group chat. I want to bring in Eric on this, mate. Based off of what Football Critic said and what Joshua had to say, what are your thoughts on the new deal for Julio Cascante, mate? I mean, some people are saying that it is a little bit premature. He is injured right now. He's not on the field, but you can't deny that he is an important piece for that backline, for that defense. What are your thoughts, Eric?
Very, very, very premature. He's
Hmm.
injured.
And how did I know you were gonna say that? Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I think it's premature. I mean, he's injured, and then that's a lot of years, and there could be younger talent. They always say, oh, 30 years old, he's coming at the end of his career. So maybe there are youngsters that are coming, like the Bison's and stuff like that. So, I mean, that's too many players for 2025, 2026 contracts, in my opinion.
Hmm. Interesting, bro. There's definitely gonna have to be some decisions that are gonna have to be made when those years come up, 25 and 26. I wonder what's gonna be up their sleeve for Austin FC. I have a quote here for Cascante, and I want to get JC on this next. Cascante had to say, he said, "I'm very happy to commit to Austin FC for the next few seasons. This club and community have made me and my family feel at home since the beginning, and I'm excited to stay here and be part of the team as we continue to work toward our goal of lifting trophies." That's Julio Cascante on his new contract. Now, I like how he says, working toward our goal of lifting trophies. Right now, the recent form that we're in, we got work to do, but last season we came close. We came close. I want to get JC on this, mate. I think you got your mic muted right now, bro. If you can unmute yourself. What was your thoughts on really everything going on with the new deal and what Julio had to say? Go ahead, JC.
Well, when it comes to things like this, especially in the case of a player like him, I'm always going to be happy when a player can get their bag, take care of their family, take care of their needs, and be rewarded. And that's the thing with this contract. I'm not bothered by it from the aspect of you want to reward players who are consistent players who stick around. They come in and they do the job for you. Now, yes, he has plenty of things to be critiqued about, but him getting rewarded, this is just an indication of his loyalty, his commitment to the club, his ability just to come in and, like I said, do the work, do the job, be a good teammate. Now, for those folks expecting when he returns to the field for everything to automatically kind of switch back into place or just to get immediately better, I think we need to pump the brakes on that because our issues are more systemic than anything. Him being out, there's a general consensus kind of going around the team right now that him getting his contract and him being absent for this prolonged period of time, it shows how valuable he is to the team. I would not express it quite that way. Now we will be a little better with him because he is a natural center back, of course. But our issues are due to the way we're playing systemically. If we're tanking and playing horribly the way we are at the moment, because one player goes out, I would say that points more to whoever's in charge of player personnel, and getting players. Our defense, to me, has been our weakest point from season one, and it, to me, hasn't fully been addressed. Now, yeah, our attackers aren't doing as well so far, but there's an anticipation that the players we have that will turn around the skill, and on paper, the skill and their abilities will bear themselves out as we go. Whereas if you contrast that to the abilities of our defense still needs some work. And Conte coming back, I'm looking forward, and I'll be happy to him coming back. He's not going to fix what's happened to us here over these first, 6 games. So there's still some work to be done. But as far as him getting the contract, from the aspect of him being rewarded for doing what he's supposed to be doing as far as trying to be a good professional and playing well, that's good for that. So I think we need to keep it in perspective as far as our team and the season currently.
Interesting, mate. Interesting points you make there. Football Critic, I gotta bring you in on this, mate, because he said something very interesting, bro. JC said that fans need to pump the brakes. Cascante is not gonna save the day, bro. What are your thoughts on that? You think that he is gonna come in and things are gonna go back to normal, or do you think that Julio Cascante is gonna come back on the field with his new contract on his mind, of course, and things will be the same as they are? What are your thoughts on that, mate?
No, bro. Like what JC said, he's gonna come in, but he's not gonna fix everything. And I mentioned it last pod. I said, hey, I like Julio. I want him in the team. I want him to come back. I want to see his 2023 form, but he's not the solution to what we're experiencing right now. I mean, what we can hope for are two things. One, for Julio to come back in his last form, or even better, even improve, which is what I was expecting from him this year before the injury. I think he can improve his game. And two, with him back on the defensive line with Leo, we can have Ring back in the midfield. It seems unlikely because Owen has done a good job, and he's still Josh's son. Not saying he's there because of that reason. I'm just saying Ring has to come back to make an argument again to get his starting spot. There are some things that we can improve if Ring plays, or a different way we can play with Ring instead than with Owen. But it's only a hope. It's only a wish, because tactics are going to be the same, and so far they have been the same since the beginning of the season. So Julio is not going to fix everything at all. We could improve, maybe, sure, hopefully, if Wolf, make some tweaks here and there, but we can only hope to, like, the secure thing to see when Julio comes back is just having a pair of two natural CBs finally working together, and not Ring working out of position but working his ass off, and instead doing it in the midfield.
Very good point there on Alex Ring, bro, getting pushed up. But we'll see what Wolf does whenever Julio does come back. And it'll be Vicent and Julio. Alex Ring will be freed up from that job that he has to do right now. But we'll see what Wolf does. If either he keeps on going with his young son, or if he's gonna give Alex Ring another go at that midfield spot. I do want to go on to the next topic, mate. We gave Julio Cascante his time for his new contract. Congratulations on that, by the way. I think he's gonna do great for us. I think this guy is gonna be fantastic for Austin FC moving forward. He is the most experienced center back that we have in the back line for Wolf ball, I guess you can say. And Josh Wolf definitely appreciates him, just like you said earlier. One of y'all said that this is kind of like a reward for his loyalty down the line, I guess you could say. Wolf even went on to say that he's been there since day one, 2021, since that LAFC match. So big ups to Julio Cascante, his family. I think the announcement was made on the day of his mom's birthday, so definitely a special day for him and all his family. Let's see. Let's go on to Radovanovic, the new player, Austin FC's new loan signing. So he signed with Austin, well, loan signing, probably like a month ago, a couple weeks ago, and fans were asking themselves, when is this guy going to get to Austin? When is he going to arrive? When is he going to start training? When is he going to play? Is the biggest question, first of all. And today we got the first pictures of him at the training facility at the St. David's Performance Center with Austin FC in the verde and black colors. Just 3 photos is what Austin FC gave us, but that's all we needed. We know that he's in training now. He's with the squad. And now the next question is, how long is it going to take him to get onto the field? I want to get you in on this, Eric, first, man. His loan is up in June, if I'm not mistaken. There is an option to buy, right? But, it could take 2 more weeks to get this guy on the field. This weekend's game might be a little bit too soon for him. Could be that Galaxy game where he sees his minutes. But what are your thoughts on him arriving to Austin FC finally and getting training with the team? Go ahead, Eric.
I mean, I'm happy to see that he's finally made it to Austin, Texas. I mean, he's gonna make y'all a lot happier. That's good. But to me, when I saw the pictures, he looks small, man. He looks really small. Maybe that whole time of him not playing, that could be a factor. He has a lot of pitch rust, so it's gonna be interesting to see. And only basically, if you give him 2 weeks, and then he settles in for 2 weeks, then he plays on the 3rd week. That's only 2 months of him playing for you guys. And what if he doesn't get any? What if Cascante comes back in and then he doesn't get any PT? Was it a waste? I think so, but we just gotta see and let's wait and see what happens.
Sheesh, man. Sounds like another Corozo situation is in the making, is brewing, man. But Futbol Critic, I want to get you in, mate. Eric touched up on some very important issues maybe that some fans might have with this whole deal, this whole loan thing that's going on with Alexander and Austin FC. What are your thoughts on him, getting with the team, getting to the training facility, and also the timeline? What are your thoughts on that? Go ahead, Futbol Critic.
It's kind of mixed feelings because he seems like a good defender. He has good qualities, he's fine. He drew also interest from Columbus Crew earlier in the postseason. But it really kind of bothers me the fact not only, I mean, his deal is fine. You want to sign a player that you're not sure how he's going to perform, give him a loan deal with an option to buy it later. I'm cool with that. The problem is that why are we as a professional soccer club signing players that have not been playing or had not been performing lately in their careers, right? I mean, we signed Rigoni, and this was a risk when we all saw that signing. He hasn't been good, throughout in the last 2 seasons in Sao Paulo, but we saw his quality, we saw his talent, like it could work, right? So we were all happy because of it. But think about it. Why is a professional team that is aiming to gain titles and cups and everything, silverware, signing a player that hasn't had a good season in 2 years? I understand there's a lot of factors like with Alexander, he hasn't been playing because he just doesn't get along with the new coach that the team has. So it was more of a relationship factor rather than a talent factor. But bottom line is the same. You're getting a guy that apparently shows that has talent, has qualities, but he hasn't played in a really long time. As what I can think of right now is Leo the only one that has had a good path of in his career when coming into Austin. So what I understand is that speech of this year in 2023 we won silverware, we want to win something, we came close in 2022, we're gonna make it in 2023. Okay, I love that mentality, but why are you signing players that haven't been playing? That's what doesn't make sense to me. I mean, I really want to see him. I really hope he does well. I want to see him triumph. I want to see him be the best center back that he can be, and sign him for real in June and whatever. But I gotta keep in mind, this is a player that hasn't played in a really long time. Tarek was sort of the same. Tarek was in Egypt, and he was I think he was playing, but he wasn't really a lot of highlights. So why is the club aiming for big things, but not doing big club things.
Yep, man, very good point. H.
H, you there?
Did I freeze a little bit? I think I did. Y'all good?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, we're back. Sorry about that. We're back. Football Critic, the last thing I heard you say, mate, was why is the club aiming for big things, and then that's when you cut off, mate.
Okay, so I said, why is the club aiming for big things but not doing big club things?
Ah, interesting, mate. And that is true, bro. Spot on, because Julio said that he does want to continue with this club and helping them achieve great things. And just like you said, why are we going after these guys that aren't having these regular minutes, that aren't having this regular game time? So it is very interesting to see what Austin FC is going to do with this player, Alexander Radovanovic. And just like you pointed out, man, there has been some drama. It has been reported on multiple shows, multiple podcasts in the Austin area. The beef, the drama, I guess you can say, between Alexander and his previous coach. Why they sent him to the B team, and hopefully Wolf can kind of rescue this guy. Going to Eric's point, he said that he looked a little bit small. I think he looked maybe just a little bit, bro. I'm not gonna lie, but probably because he lost a little bit of interest in his playing career over there. Didn't have any motivation to hit the gym. Hopefully he sees the new facilities here in Austin and he just decides to go hard in the paint. I want to get JC on this topic before we go on to the next thing. JC, what are your thoughts on Radovanovic and his arrival to Austin FC, mate? I know a lot has been said already by Futbol Critic and Eric, but what are your final thoughts on this guy?
Man, don't know much about this dude outside of what's already been reported. So my mindset is the same as it was with Carozo, temp worker. You come in, does okay, he'll be permanent. If he doesn't, peace. So we'll see how he does. Like I said, his loan ends in June, so we have the rest of this month in May to see what's going on, because I don't think Julio is going to be ready until sometime in May. Even after he recovers, he says to kind of work himself into what they would consider game shape. And that's interesting with players new coming to our league, coming to the team. I remember when Gabrielson got in, he was ready to go from jump. I think the coach was the only one holding him back, and then he came in and started, and he balled out in a sense. So the players, it's always going to depend on the players, how they maintain their shape, how they maintain themselves health-wise to be able to perform. So if he's ready and they want to let him jump in, let him jump in. As far as I'm concerned, his time is limited. I imagine the team wouldn't agree to a deal like this unless they were prepared to either extend the loan. I would be shocked if they just outright buy him without much of a sample size to work with. So my guess is if they have any questions, they'll extend the loan. Otherwise, they'll just let him go about his business. So I don't really have much expectation for the guy. I hope he does well. And if he does, then I'll make sure I autosave his name to my article so I don't have to keep looking for the accents and stuff to put on his name. Make sure.
I know exactly what you mean, bro. I actually went through that with Leo.
Yeah.
Bison with his name, he has those two little, I don't know what they're called, but they're two little dots on top of both the A's.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
just gotta get used to typing it. I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, I saved him in my dictionary. But yeah, we'll see what happens. But like I said, mentality, he's a temp worker. Let's see how he does.
I like that. I like that. And we do have to point out, fans will be very frustrated with Austin FC so far with their loan signings, because they've not been I guess up to par with what you'd expect from teams at this level. I mean, we saw it with Washington, Corozo, who was signed and then spent most of the time injured, and then just as mysterious as he arrived, he left. So it's going to be very interesting to see what Austin FC does with this player. Just like JC said, it's going to be very difficult for the club to sign this guy with a very sample size. So we'll see just what he does. Maybe he balls out and he just becomes like an instant instant starter, a guy that we must have on the field. And hey, you never know. But I think it'll be Leo Weissman and more of Julio Cascante into the future for Austin FC. Boys, I want to go into the next topic and talk about Austin FC 2, who is currently playing right now. We are watching the game as we are recording this pod. We started at around a little bit after the second half started. Right now they are leading 3-0. They're leading what is it? North Texas SC, their team out from Dallas area. They're winning. They're losing 3-0 to Austin FC 2. Austin FC 2 is winning 3-0, and it's been absolutely one-way traffic for this game. I mean, Austin FC 2 started off hot. They haven't lost control of the game. Damian Loss has also been fantastic underneath his post. But I want to get the boys' thoughts, Futbol Critic. I want to get started off with you, man. What are your thoughts on this team so far, Austin FC 2, who looks to still be undefeated at home and undefeated overall, man? Go ahead.
Oh, they have been playing really well. I have seen not all, but most of their matches, and they're looking like a good team. And then what I like the most is like they're connecting or settling in with each other the more games they play. Like this game with North Texas SC, they, like you said, like they're winning 3-0. Every single goal goes to their credit, although two of them were like really big defensive mistakes from North Texas, like Keepy to Stroud type of mistakes. But they were in the right position at the right time to take advantage of those occasions. And like you said, they haven't lost control of the game at all. I've been seeing them playing, and what I like the most is like they play a lot through the middle, and they're looking for a lot of through passes. They're constantly looking, either the wingers or like literally in the middle. They're looking for a through pass to get far into the box and then take advantage of it. They, after those, like the first goal was a PK, the second goal, the second and third goal were those big mistakes. They haven't had the chance to convert any other option for goal, but the intention and the intensity, they high press, they do everything right. This thing seems very well managed, and what they've done together, what the coach is doing, seems like it's gonna building something really, really well for the entire season. I don't think they're the strongest team in MLX Pro yet, but they for sure can be.
Now we have the starting lineup here. We had Damian Lawson goal. Charlie Asensio started at left back, even though the graphic that was shown on the MLS season pass was they had Charlie Asensio at center back, but I'm pretty sure that was not the case. Charlie Asensio at left back, Kip Keller center back, who continues his great run of form with AustinFC 2. Even though he conceded a PK last game, he was bailed out, though. That's what B said on the weekend episode of the Top Flight Pod. We also have Sal Mazaferro, who has been absolutely world class at the center back position for AustinFC 2. Chick Ture at the defense as well, really good young player. We had Alonso Ramirez, who I believe got a goal this game, if I'm not mistaken. Going to check up on that right now. We also had we have Steve Louis Jean, number 15 in the midfield, along with Valentin Noel. David Rodriguez, who's playing against his former team, CJ Fodry, and Alfonso Ocampo Chavez. For the substitutes, we have Sebastian Pinot, Chris Pinkman, Joe Hafferty, who is usually the captain. We have Bobosi Biarwanga, who is back from international break from Uganda. Micah Burton, who got subbed on recently in the game. EJ Johnson, one of my favorite players in this team. Jackson Walty, Cristo Vela, who got the game winner last game, and Eric Lopez, the backup goalkeeper. Let's see. We got I want to get Eric's take on this, May, because you have some I don't know if it's criticism. You have some praise for the AustinFC 2 side, but hating on the first team, though. You said that the 2 team is more exciting to watch than the first team right now. Go ahead, mate.
Yeah, the AustinFC 2 team is playing better than the senior team. I think the manager from the AustinFC 2 team should be the manager of the senior team, and then maybe AustinFC.
Pump the brakes, brother. Go ahead.
Yeah. They sign him up, Wolf out, and get this new guy in. Y'all gonna win some games, win the MLS Cup, and y'all gonna be like, oh my gosh, Eric was right. But no, yeah, I mean, I'm happy for these youngsters. I like to see that they get results. I can't wait to go to one of their games. But like I'm saying, like Futbol Critic said, they play the through ball in the middle. They play the through ball through the wings. Something that AustinFC 2 does that the senior team doesn't. And then you guys go back to the see your team going for the wides, and then they go back and they switch to their wide. I mean, hey, learn something from the youngsters, man. The youngsters can do it. The older guys can do it as well. And they
Interesting.
can win some games.
Interesting, right here. Eric said for the first team to learn something from the youngsters. But I heard JC kind of let out a little bit of a chuckle, a little bit of a laugh there when Eric said that Austin FC should promote Mr. Brett Oatley from the two team up to the first team because of his great run of form and Wolves' poor run of form. But JC, come on, man, talk to this guy. Go ahead.
Well, I don't know if you like what I have to say, but look, these guys are playing, and you just like their spirit, okay? And what we're supposed to understand is our so-called identity and style of play and system is supposed to run not just from the first team, but through our academy, our second team, and everything. So supposedly, in theory, these guys are supposed to be playing the system that the first team is supposed to be playing. And right now, if that is actually the case, they are executing it much better than the first team. Man, shoot, you wonder where did the breakdown occur? Man, so at least with the second team, just the crowd and the vibe is just exciting to watch, because they're the future. You're not going to be quite as critical on them because they're up and coming. They're getting blooded in right now, and so everything is it has a more general optimistic kind of outlook to it. Whereas with the first team, they are almost what they're going to be. A lot of them at this point, especially our older signings, can't teach a dog new tricks, so to speak. So, man, some changes need to happen. I don't know if maybe they need to come out to the games again like they did that first game and get some more inspiration or something, because shoot, something's going to have to change with the way this first team is going. The second team, they're the ticket to watch right now, and they're much cheaper tickets to get too. So
Yeah, they're like $10.
Man, yeah.
Like $10, dude.
And you got food and stuff out there. It's a good little environment there. So
You can't beat that. Honestly, you can't beat that. The games are fun. The kids are excited to watch, and more people are starting to pack Palmer Field. I see it. I couldn't go today, obviously, but the past two home games we've been there, and we've seen the amount of people that have been at those games. Even last week, it was kind of rainy, kind of cold. But there was still fans out there, people cheering on that team. It was absolutely fantastic. We've seen first team players out there. We've seen owners. We've seen coaches, first team coaches. So it's pretty cool to see the kind of community, the kind of atmosphere that is being built around those Austin FC 2 games, who are absolutely flying right now. Earlier, while JC was making his points, they had a dangerous free kick outside the box that was just slammed into the post. I mean, these kids are absolutely feeling it right now. Do y'all want to add anything to the Austin FC 2? Any praise that we left off that y'all want to add on?
I mean, I just think it's kind of sad that the first time that we're seeing 3 goals being scored with Las Voces kid is with Austin FC 2.
Sheesh. Futbol Critic sending shots, bro. All right. Question, just super quick, real quick, just one name. I'm gonna start off with you, Futbol Critic. If you could promote one player from the Austin FC 2 team to the first team, just one player, who would it be?
Oh, Valentin Noel for sure. That guy
Ooh.
has been moving around all of in the midfield, being dangerous. Like he's what's mixing that midfield. Love it.
Okay, all right. Next I'm gonna go with you, Eric. Eric, one player that you would promote from the Austin FC 2 team to the first team.
The whole squad.
Okay. One player though, mate.
Oh, the same guy that Las.
Oh, Las, great keeper. Okay.
You got to give Stewart some rest, guys. Play him in, guys might win a League's Cup with the youngster,
All right. We'll see. All right. Last but not least, my JC. One player that you would promote to the first team from the Austin FC 2 side.
I'm going to have to grow with Alex, man. No, he's the one that's been putting the balls in. That's what we need right now. You got to have somebody put the ball in the net. I like Eric's idea of getting a keeper that can give Stu some rest and challenge him for playing time in the net. We got to have somebody besides Stu who can make some plays when he's not in the game. So
I'm gonna have to pick somebody completely different than y'all. I'm going with Mazzaferro. I'm going with Mazzaferro. I think he's a really good center back for the level that he's at right now, and I'd love to see him try his talents out with the first team soon. I think that this kid has a bright future ahead of him, and hopefully he's one of the guys that we picked right in recent times, just like Danny Pereira. Now, I do want to move on to real quick to one quick topic that we have left on the Austin FC side of things, and it's just a quick LAFC touch up and a preview for Vancouver. We are playing Vancouver up next. They are a team that are above us in the standings. In the standings, if I'm not mistaken, they're right now they're eighth. Austin FC is ninth, still in the playoff spot now because they changed the whole format. They made it easier, added one more spot. But Vancouver, a team that JC, I'm gonna start off with you first, man. You said that you're more scared of this team than the Galaxy and San Jose. You want to kind of tell us why you're a bit more concerned with this Vancouver side and why it's not going to be as easy as some fans think. Go ahead, JC.
Yeah. First of all, I just want to make sure I'm not scared of nobody like that.
Oh, I like that. I like that.
I put that out there. Got to put that out there. This is going to be recorded on the internet. Got to make that clear.
I like that.
Concern, yes. When I was looking at the rundown of the teams for this month, LA was clearly the top one that was going to be the hardest challenge, and we saw what they did to us. Based off of form coming into the season, I would have said LA Galaxy was the next threat just because, especially when we go out and play them in Carson, they've ran us like dogs every time. But they're not doing so well right now. They're in the mud a little bit. So they're kind of down there with us. They might be more beatable than they were at the beginning of the season. So right now, of the 3 games the rest of this month, Vancouver will likely be the toughest challenge. Maybe not by a whole lot more, but right now, Vancouver, out of LA Galaxy, and out of San Jose, Vancouver is probably going to be the toughest challenge. We did not win a game against them our first season. And last season, I believe it was the home team that won both times. And I believe it was 3-0 both times, or maybe Vancouver won 2-0. I'm trying to remember. But anyway, it was 1-1. The home team won. So we get them at home, so that might help us. But they're 3-1 against us overall in our existence. So we're going to see how they do. They look like they're trying to do something. And it's kind of hard for LAFC to be the measuring stick, so to speak. But we'll see, I guess. But yeah, Vancouver, we're really going to need to get some points, especially at home against them. Got to get these points. If we don't get these points, then we're in trouble.
Oh, 100%. Now I want to bring in Futbol Critic, man. We got the thoughts on Vancouver. I want you to give me a quick touch up on the LAFC game, mate. Just real quick, your thoughts on that match. Obviously, we want to know what went so wrong for Austin FC. We'll get Eric thoughts next. Go ahead, Futbol Critic.
Oh, I mean, honestly, I think what went wrong was for us to face Boanga. You know,
Facts.
like he's just an MVP caliber player on fire right now. He's in top form. So those type of players, whenever they face whoever, when they're in their day, no one's gonna stop them. So I think we lost 3-0 in huge part to Boanga, not that much to the whole team of LAFC. Now, that being said, we were never really close to winning either. I mean, that was still a game that we still didn't generate a thing. You know, we still played horribly. We had nothing to show for ourselves. So they just had they had our 2022 jersey, bro. Like, you see Bowanga's shots, they were the same shots that Jersey would take last year. And no one could really stop Jersey last year at this time around. So no, like we lost to Bouanga. We obviously lost to LAFC, but we for sure weren't gonna win that. We still didn't produce anything.
Man, Futbol Critic with the take that's gonna make me cry, bro. Saying that was our Drusy in 2022, man. I mean, you're cooking right now, bro. You're making some really good points. I mean, Drusy last season, you could tell that he was very confident with his shots. I mean, he was taking shots, not even thinking about it, just off of instinct, and that's exactly what Bouanga was doing to us. You know, doing versus us in that game. You know, there was some shots where it was just a matter of seconds where he knew what to do. It wasn't just too much thinking. And sometimes whenever you have the ball at your feet and you think about it too much, that's when everything start to go south for you, I guess you could say. Eric, your turn, mate. You predicted the 3-0 defeat. I guess I'm gonna say. I mean, do I have to say congrats whenever this happens? I mean, you predicted 3-0. What are your thoughts on the match, real quick, bro?
You guys got humbled. I called it, and I saw that Driussi is a shell of himself from last season. And I am so, you know what, I'm going to say this.
Watch it, mate.
I am so happy that he did not get injured for you guys. Because if he would have gotten injured, because I saw he got that knock, if he would have been injured, oh my gosh, Austin's season would be over. Over. So, I mean, good thing he's good. But I was going to say, y'all's your strongest 11. They got beat by a rotated LAFC. And you guys have given 3 points away to teams that are lower than you guys. And just let y'all know that you guys got to be, wary of these bottom teams.
Mate, I think you actually made one good point there. Obviously, of the other banter talk that you just said, but we have been giving up some easy points. Colorado, a team that we struggled against. Obviously, things are not going our way. Player injuries right now are not working out. Our coach's tactics, he's too proud to kind of switch it up. Maybe some locker room drama, behind the scenes thing going on that we don't really know about because we're not in tune with behind the scenes so much as some of the journalists are. But we have to bounce back. We got to get those points coming up. JC made the point that Vancouver is not going to be as easy as a lot of fans thought, and that just points at the LA Galaxy game, and it points at the San Jose game as must wins, I guess you could say. But definitely, we need a good showing this Saturday. We need a great showing, something to get the fans riled up, because the fans right now are in I guess the downslope, man. I mean, fans right now are not happy. They're not happy, and I guess that's how to put it in the simplest terms. I want to get y'all's quick score prediction for the Vancouver game. I'm gonna start off with Eric. Your score prediction for the Vancouver match, bro, this Saturday at Q2, AustinFC, Vancouver.
Vancouver takes the win 2-1. Last minute.
Rubbish. Futbol Critic score prediction, mate.
I'm gonna say that the players saw all of the criticism and they're pissed and they want to prove something to themselves. And man, I'm gonna say 2-1 Austin. Yeah, 2-1 Austin, but not all too convinced.
All right. Hang in there, bro. My GJC, your score prediction. Go ahead.
1-1. Till I see us being able to actually score consistently, I can't predict high scoring goals anymore for our side. We still have Alex Marine playing with Leo in defense, so that's not optimal. Rain, I don't blame him at all. I think he's doing wonderful considering the position he's been put in. But right now, it looks like 1-1 is optimistic.
Okay. I'm gonna go with the 0-0. I'm going with the 0-0, guys. I know Eric's over there laughing. JC said 1-1.
Happens like that.
Mate, I think it's gonna be 0-0. We're not scoring goals. We're not performing in the final third. Clean sheet, I guess, is gonna be the main headline for this game coming up. Clean sheet, 0-0. But 0-0, Austin FC is not scoring goals. If we can get one, fantastic. But I think it's gonna be similar to that Colorado game, JC, where it was 1-1. Just like how you said. But hey, Eric's over there losing it. 0-0, mate. That's my prediction for the Vancouver Austin match. 0-0, 1-1. I'll give you that. 0-0, 1-1. Better? All right. 0-0, 1-1. Yeah, I want to go into Europe now. We got to get into the PJ, the private jet flyover to the European continent. We got to talk about some Champions League football that happened today. We're going to start off with Real Madrid. Obviously, that's the hot topic right now, flying high against Chelsea. We wanted to have B in here, wanted to have Brian in here. Unfortunately, he could not be here to show face for his team. Much like Chelsea, MIA, can't be found. Where's B? I don't know. Where's Potter? He's sacked. Where's Super Frank? Unfortunately, he's at the wheel. I want to start off with you, Eric. Mate, Real Madrid thrashed Chelsea 2-0 at the Bernabeu. Could have been more. Football Critic said that Real Madrid was very wasteful. But what were your thoughts on the match between Real Madrid and Chelsea, the first leg, obviously? Go ahead, mate.
Should have been 7-0. Should have murdered them. Nah, but I'm happy. I'm happy we get to go to the Stamford Bridge and play them. We got a 2-0 aggregate right now, and we show that Beanie and Benzema are just lethal. Beanie, Balón de Oro. I'm taking it from you now. I'm choosing your side. Beanie, Balón de Oro.
Okay. Okay. I like that. I like that. I like that. Football critic, mate. I want to get your take on the Real Madrid Chelsea game, bro. What was your thoughts on the 2-0 defeat that sets up Real Madrid for a pretty comfortable time when they got to go to the Stamford Bridge here in a couple of days? Go ahead, football critic.
Oh, I mean, like I said before, I think Real Madrid should have won at least a minimum of a 3-0. I mean, you got a really bad informed Chelsea, not playing well in the Premier League, not playing well, just anywhere. That recently got Frank Lampard again. I mean, he can be as much of a legend as he wants in that club, but he's not a good manager, bro. I mean, he drove Everton to the ground. Yeah, Everton has never been a really good club, but he just just drove that van through a brick wall. I mean, I don't know why. I don't know what Chelsea's doing with their managers, with their FO. But yeah, no. Madrid definitely should have won by more, especially with that red card in the 60th minute. Um, However, I think Man City won 3-0 versus a Bayern that was better than Chelsea. So if Madrid, with a red card in Chelsea, couldn't beat them by a greater margin at the Bernabeu, you got to remember that at Madrid, and City is beating Bayern, who play a whole lot better than Chelsea in Manchester. It's not looking that good for the future for Madrid. Although this is Madrid's competition, so you can't really never count them out.
Well, 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 football critic. You do make some sense. You make some good points. But I've been saying this all day. I want City next. I want Manchester City right now. If we could play Manchester City tomorrow, I'd play Manchester City tomorrow, mate. And I think Madrid would beat them. I think Madrid would beat them. I know it's difficult to say, oh, City is a great super team. They're powerful. They're still in it for the treble, yada, yada, yada. I get it. But you also said it, football critic, whenever it's Champions League time, Real Madrid just turns up. This is their competition. This is the cup that they want every year, the cup that they crave. And right now, Chelsea is just a little warm up, bro. Just a little warm up, just a little tune up, just a little appetizer. Bring on City, because it's obviously not going to be Bayern. Bring on City, bring on Holland. And I think Real Madrid is going to finally humble this Man City team. We'll see. We'll see. I want to get JC's take, mate, on everything that was said so far. You can give us your take on the Real Madrid match, or you can give us your thoughts on the Bayern City game, which was also a thriller. Go ahead, JC.
Well, I mean, Chelsea, they're shoot, they fired Tuchel, then they brought in Potter, then they fired Potter. I mean, that's so destabilized. What's the word I'm looking for? It screwed up the whole locker room and the morale of the team. When you fire two coaches in one season, I mean, there's a bunch of stuff going wrong there. So the result doesn't surprise me. Madrid should have scored more just to make sure no shenanigans or anything happens back at Stamford Bridge. But in all honesty, I do not expect them to overcome this realistically. So I think Madrid is good. Munich, I want to say I was surprised with that result, but again, with them, they fired a dude who was unbeaten in Champions League this season. That baffles me. I don't understand what was going on, and it's not like they were low on the table. I mean, they're closer to Dortmund and other teams fighting at the top than they would like, but they were still tops and unbeaten in Champions League. Why would you fire a coach in that circumstance? Makes zero sense. And then now you got folks pissed off and punching each other. It makes no sense at all. They're in complete turmoil. Now at least they get to go back to Germany and play the Allianz. We'll see how they do there. But man, they better get their stuff together quick. I would give them a better chance of turning that around and kind of doing to Man City what just happened to them. I don't think that's quite as likely, but it's more possible than Chelsea overturning a 2 deficit to Madrid.
Interesting. Now, definitely B does believe that there's still a Chelsea comeback somewhere in the books, but I think Chelsea fans need to be very realistic. I think I don't know. We'll see what happens there. But I do have some notes here that I want to read. It is important to note that Todd Bowley was seen before the match saying that Chelsea were going to win 3-0. I don't know what this guy was thinking. Todd Bowley thought that he was the Violet player that predicted that they would beat Austin FC 3-0. That's probably who he thought he was at that moment. Also have some more notes. Madrid beat Chelsea 2-0 with the 21st minute goal by Benzema and a 74th minute Asensio goal. There was also a red card for Chilwell that we mentioned in the 59th minute. With all the coach sackings, it was never the coach's fault. That's what Eric says here in his notes. Also, if Madrid win and City win, basically Madrid is repeating last year's knockout stages. This marks the first victory for Madrid over Chelsea at the Santiago Bernabeu. That's an insane stat, bro. Insane stat because they did meet before at the Bernabeu, but the match, Chelsea won that game, if I'm not mistaken, 3-2. Madrid completed the comeback, but Chelsea had won that game overall. Very interesting. Asensio has the most goals scored by a sub in the history of the UCL with 9 goals. Really? Okay. Karim is now second place with 20 goals scored against English clubs behind Messi's 27 goals. Benzema's last 11 goals in the Champions League have came against English clubs, 5 versus Chelsea, 3 versus City, and 3 versus Liverpool. A total of 14 goals in his last 9 UCL knockout stage games. Also 3 versus PSG. Insane stats right there by Maichi. Eric, I'm going to let you speak on those, mate. Wow. Interesting stats, brother. Go ahead.
A lot of stats, and that let you know that Karim Benzema is the best.
He is him. He is him.
He is that guy. He is that guy. Do Ronaldo who? Ronaldo who? No.
Come
Karim
on, bro.
Benzema. Our number 9. Our number 9. Our savior. Yeah, he didn't get goals in the group stages, but in the knockout stages, he's a beast.
Benzema definitely coming up big, bro. I wonder if I mean, I don't really know much about it, but somebody that would know a lot on the topic, I need to do more research on it. But right now, it's a holy Ramadan time for the Muslim religion, right? And a lot of players that are that partake in that right now, they have to go through fasting and through other different things that they have to go through during this period of time, this holy time that I'm not 100% familiar with. But like I said, if anybody wants to educate me on that, I'd love to. But Benzema right now, a lot of people are saying that he always plays the best during this period of time, man. I mean, is there anything that goes on with that, Eric? Do you know, bro, or is it just guys just going off at this random time? Go ahead.
I've actually single-handedly experienced it before too. I've played a game and I'm empty stomached. There's a bunch of water, and now I'm playing good. And then when I'm and the days that I do eat and I'm caring about my body, I'm just terrible.
All right, man. All right. It is important to note AC Milan versus Napoli. AC Milan beat Napoli once again, back to back in the league 10 days ago, 4-0, and now today 1-0 in the Champions League at the San Siro. A wonderful Brahim Diaz run and a Benacer sealed the win for the Rossoneri, and they have the advantage going on the second leg. Anguissa with a silly second yellow for the later on a red. Madrid lone player Brahim Diaz, player of the match, and Madrid's Vini Jr. player of the match as well. Interesting stat there. Madrid flying high, bro. I like that. Good note you put in there. Let's see. We also have one more note here that says we may have AC Milan versus Inter Milan semi-final derby. I want to get Futbol Critic's take on that, mate. What would happen if AC Milan and Inter Milan met up in a semi-final Champions League match?
Oh, I would love it, bro.
Back to old days. Back to old days.
Yes. I mean, like I said in the last pod, I'm teamless beyond Austin, but a team that I sympathize a lot with, a team that I actually like, is AC Milan, bro. And to see them come back from those glory days to being good again, they already won Serie A, they're still keeping in form. Now this season, Napoli, is flying high this season in Serie A, but they still managed to beat them 4-0, 6 days ago, 7 days ago, something like that. And then to come back in Champions League and win again 1-0. I mean, Napoli can still get them out for sure, no doubt about that. But seeing Milan go through that again, it's amazing. And to see them at a Champions League semifinal with Inter Milan, I mean, what else can you wish for, bro? It's amazing.
Facts, bro. I would definitely like to see that, especially with how much history goes on in between these two teams and how much the European soccer community and also the whole world, bro. I mean, the whole world knows what Milan is, what the Inter Milan derby is to everybody around the world, and it would be a game much appreciated by the fans of football all around the world, bro. All around the world. It would be an insane game. It would be like a Real Madrid Barcelona in the semifinal of a Champions League. I put it at that kind of level, bro. Honestly, I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I put it at that level. Let's see. We also had a Benfica versus Inter Milan. Inter beat Benfica at the Estadio da Luz. Barella opened up the scoring in the 51st minute, and Lukaku buried an 82nd minute penalty. Inter have beaten Benfica's rivals Porto and are one step close to beating Benfica. Let's see. I want to get JC's take. Let's see. Maybe you have anything on the Benfica Inter Milan game, and also maybe some thoughts on the AC Milan Napoli match. Go ahead, JC.
I don't have much on the Napoli game. I do think that they will overtake that series and beat Milan. AC, they're doing well in the league and stuff, but I just think Napoli, they're just too strong for them. I think they're going to look for revenge. The game that really matters, kind of like what LAFC did with us. Like, we won those regular season games, then got to the playoffs when the game mattered. Then they stepped it up. I think Napoli's going to do the same thing to AC Milan. Out of the Milans, I will, even though neither one of them are my favorite Italian team. My favorite Italian team is Roma. But out of the two Milans, I will always root for International before I would root for AC. So they did well to beat Benfica on the road. I think they're going to continue to do that. I've actually been more focused on, unfortunately, the off-field. Well, I guess it was kind of on-field stuff too, with the stuff with Lukaku, him getting red carded because of the nonsense from the crowd at UV, and then he did the same celebration and stuff. I was watching Thierry Henry and those folks and Kate Abdul and them talk about how, it's just the same old with the treatment of the players and everything. So unfortunately, that took away from the occasion. But as far as just the football is concerned, Milan, I think they're going to finish that off once they return back to San Siro. So we're going to see two Italian teams, I think. Two Italian teams, I believe, are going to advance. I don't think Chelsea's going through. And so I think Man City more than likely, and Madrid will join them. So it should be an interesting close to this run.
Appreciate it, mate. Thank you. I think you're onto something, mate. Napoli is a team that is very, very strong. They could definitely turn it around against Milan, bro. 100%. It could happen. I thought Napoli was gonna go and win this game, but obviously things didn't go their way. I'm a big Chucky Lozano fan. I want him to get all the success in Europe that he can get as possible, because that benefits Mexico, El Tri. So as well as it can go for Chucky, that's better for me, mate. I hope that they can turn it around. I'm with you, JC. So we'll see what happens in that next game. Eric, I see you making a lot of faces, bro. We're going to end the pod with you. What is your response to everything that was said on this European segment? You seemed a little bit frustrated when JC said that Napoli was going to turn it around.
I want an AC Milan Inter semifinal. I want to see like that remake picture. I don't know if you've seen it with like the fireworks and the Inter and AC Milan, the San Siro.
I've seen that photo.
That would be pretty cool to see that happen.
Imagine having just picture this, guys. 2 games, 2 semifinals at the San Siro. Madness, guys. And then we have the rematch of an amazing semifinal last year with City and Madrid. Those 2 semifinals, this is gonna be the best Champions League if those it happens with AC Milan versus Inter and City versus Madrid. Like just picture that. Just picture it. It'll be beautiful. Obviously, I'm gonna go for Madrid winning the final, but I mean, hey, you never know. You never know.
Eric, I want to end the pod with this question for you, mate. Since you're so obsessed with there being a AC Milan Inter Milan semifinal, I want to say this: would you rather see two games at the San Siro for a semifinal Champions League in person, you being there, or would you rather Man United finish top four this season?
Man United finished top.
You're selfish. You are so selfish.
United
You are selfish.
Man United is my love.
You are selfish. Selfish, mate. All right, y'all. On that note, we're gonna end the Top Flight Podcast midweek episode. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Appreciate you y'all for tuning in. We talked about Austin FC, Julio Cascante's new contract. The Austin FC 2 players, another win underneath their belt. They stay undefeated. 3-0 defeat. They beat North Texas SC. So big ups to them. Appreciate my GJC. Also, thank you, Futbol Critic, for being here, boys. Is there anything else you want to add before we sign off? I'll start off with Futbol Critic.
Just saying, Haaland coming for that Mr. Champions League from CR7.
JC, mate, help me out here, bro. Anything else you want to say before we sign out?
Austin FC, honeymoon is over. No more blue balls, please. Let's get it.
Let's go. What a way to sign out. Top Flight Podcast, you already know. Thank you for all the support. Let's go.